Hello everyone and welcome back to the Model Railway series on the channel. Didn't expect to be making this video exactly. I expected to be showing off my new Accurascale Class 60, comparing it to the Cavalex and the Hornby. And that's not quite what's happening. This video is going off on a bit of a tangent. First of all, I want to say these are my opinions. These are the models I've received. So it's not necessarily the experience that everyone else has had. This is just my experience with the models I've purchased. And they were both purchased from separate retailers. So I want to get all that out of the way. And hopefully it'll make sense why I'm saying all that as we get into it. But yeah, so Accurascale, Cavalex, both Class 60s, both released this year, both potentially amazing models. Are they the definitive Class 60 that you never want anything better? Do they have all the best features? And the answer to that for me is no. Like, there's some stuff that Cavalex do that's really good, really cool, that the Accurascale guys don't do, and vice versa. So I can't do a direct comparison anyway of what I've got, because that is a DC model which came out at just shy of £200. That is a DCC sound fitted model at £280 that I picked up yesterday as I'm recording this. And I had to wait 2.5 years for that one. We've already covered that. Don't need to go back into that too much. But when I received it, I pulled out my pretty little detail packaging and the nameplates were missing. I was like, oh, okay. Now, that could have been a non-issue for me, because added nameplates when I'm running the model, would it normally matter? No, because the printed ones are perfectly fine for me. I am happy with that level of detail. However, Cavalex don't print them on. What they do is they give you a very nice etched template and you place that on the model, and then you place the plates in the cutout with glue and stick them on. So if you don't stick these etched nameplates on, you have no nameplates whatsoever on the model, which is kind of cool in one respect, because if you wanted to rename or renumber your model, it's got nothing on there. It's, apart from the livery, it's blank. So if I were to have gone and bought a load haul liveried one, which is my favourite livery, I could very easily change it to any member of the class that had the load haul livery, such as this guy. And what I can't do is fit the plates if they're not there. Now, to be fair, I contacted the retailer and said, look, this is what's happened. I've got the number plates, I've got the EWS plates, everything, but I haven't got the Isambard Kingdom Brunel plates. And it took about a week and a half, but I got it set through the post. So, not the end of the world. Very much first world problems. And I'm aware of that, of everything I say in this. First world problems. You know, there's bigger worldwide problems than not having nameplates for your model. But having said that, I paid £200 for it, or just shy of £200, and had to wait 2.5 years for it. So to have to then do this, you know, it's a bit irksome. So rolling on, I went to my hometown of March yesterday. They had a Heritage Open Day at the station, and so I got to walk around the buildings that I wouldn't normally have access to. Got to walk around on the rear platforms. Again, you don't normally have access to them. So that was really cool, really fun. I enjoyed that. Got to see my dad as well, who I haven't seen in a long time, so also big bonus. And I decided to, on the way home, go to a model shop with the intention of buying one of the Bachmann Scenecraft buildings of March Station that I knew they had in stock. I wasn't sure exactly what ones they had. I've only up to now been able to track down the waiting room, and I got 2 of the station canopies previously. And so I went in there, and they had the waiting room, which I already have, and they had the station facilities and stores. So I picked that one up. Left the signal box because at £90, that's a heck of a lot of money for a signal box for a layout that I may one day get round to building. Need a lot of room to model March Station. So anyway, yeah, whilst I was there, they had the Cavalex 60s in, and they also had Accurascale 60s. And I was looking, and I was intending to buy the DC model. They only had one DC model in stock, and it was trainload coal livery, which not one of my favourite liveries, and I thought maybe someday if I've got the money I'll buy it, but right now I want the load haul livery. It's the one that they had on display that appealed to me most. And the guy went and checked, and we've only got DCC sound fitted, which is an extra £100. So to put it in context, if you buy the DC loco, it's cheaper than Cavalex. It's cheaper than Hornby, and I can't fault that at all. So anyway, went and got the sound fitted. Got it home after a little bit of messing around with my DCC controller. Got it set up, gave it an address, and settled in to run it in. And there'll be some B-roll footage of it. And all was good and well. I mean, the lighting, being able to switch on the engine room light and the cab light as you're running, all good things. However, one end lights, the headlights, doesn't work. It worked when they tested it at the store because it was the display model. And I want to stress, display model behind a locked glass case, and for all intents and purposes, as far as I know, just literally took out the box, put in that display case, and that's it. I don't think it's because it's X display or whatever that there's an issue because of that, because I am not the only one who's had this issue. So they ran it for about 30 seconds round their test loop in the shop, and from everything I'm saying, you probably, if you know the area, you'll probably know which model shop I bought it from. But I want to stress, this is not on the model shop. There's no way that they can be blamed in any way for the issue of the headlights not working, because for the 30 seconds we ran it, it was fine. When I started out doing the running in session and just playing with the features before putting on for a 30-minute run, they worked. At some point within that first 30 minutes, when I stopped it at the end of the run and decided to put it to run in the opposite direction, the headlights no longer worked. Everything else works, all the sounds work, all the other lights. I can put it into nighttime running mode and the nighttime headlights will work. Daytime lights, gone. And I'm not the only one to have that issue. As I say, it seems to be a known issue. When I was trying to look it up, Google told me it is a known issue, blah, blah, blah. And okay, I know that Craig over at Iron Horse Railways has got the same issue with his. Now, he seems to think that it's something he's probably done, but it's not. It's a known issue, and I keep saying that. But yeah, so there I was, and I went on to Accurascale's website, registered it anyway, so you get the lifetime warranty, which is cool. I will props for that. However, what I didn't realise, and it doesn't tell you this when you buy a model, either direct from them or from a third-party retailer, if you have an issue with your logo, even if it's on the day you purchased it and you have the receipt, blah, 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 in order to put in a warranty claim of any kind, you have to pay them £5 for the trouble, for their fees, their admin basically, and the postage and packaging. How they're going to pay for the packaging, I don't get, because I'm going to pay for the packaging if I have to send it back to them. But yeah, so £5. I never agreed to that. I never got the opportunity to agree to that because I didn't know about it. Now, to be clear, if they get it back and they find out there's an issue, they'll refund you that £5. We're talking about a nearly £300 model. I wouldn't just be sending it to them for the sake of it. And it is a known issue. Why the hell am I paying £5 for them to process it? Jeez, I don't get it. I really don't. And I'm going to be without my model for a week, 2 weeks, however long it takes them to fix it. And what if they don't fix it? What if it comes back and then it has the same problem again? I'm going to have to pay that £5 again and keep paying £5 for it to eventually be returned? No. So my advice to you guys right now, based on my experience, is to do what I've been doing, is going out and buying second-hand Hornby models, because personally I think the Hornby models hold up. They may not have the removable buffer beam of the Cavalex, and I just highlight that because I think it's the best feature. You know, you want to run any in pockets, you just pop in. You want to run the detail in. So simple. Accurascale, such a simple and obvious thing. The tension clock, you can't really call it a D anymore. The trapezoidal bit of it, basically the loop. Clear plastic. I mean, yeah, you've still got the hook, but clear plastic. That's going to make such a visual difference. And I know you can buy them separately, and I will be looking into doing that at some point, even after just ranting about Accurascale, because I think that's brilliant. Everyone should be doing that. I also think everyone should be doing that, but maybe we'll reach a point, which is why I say neither of these are the definitive model, because there's great things about them both. However, for what you're paying these days, and the fact that everyone's doing this pre-order model for purchasing these days. Oh, you've got to pre-order it so we know you want it, and then we know how many to make. And then we can have scalpers come when a year or two down the line you want a model and we're no longer producing it, and we don't have any backup, we don't have any stocks. I mean, do things really move on that much? And these companies have such little cash flow and model shops have such little cash flow that they can't hold stock of a model for a couple of years. I mean, that used to be the model. And I mean, granted, you'd get, say, a class 37, and that would be it. No one else would make a 37 for 20 years. So I guess in that sense, you could hold on to a model for a lot longer and have it in stock and you'd sell it. But 3 years down the line, people are still going to want to buy these or these. I mean, the Hornby one's 10 years old now, and they're obviously able to sell enough that, you know, they're now doing a new version with 21 pin decoder, because that's the latest standard. I think it's 21, or it may be an 18. Anyway, yeah, there is the market for models to not strictly have to adhere to this pre-order thing, where you have detail parts missing, you have a known issue with headlights not working on one end. Yeah, it's been a bit of a ranty one, I know, but I'm upset by it. I really am. Truth is, I recently got my inheritance from my nan dying, and that's the reason I could afford to go out and buy this. I wouldn't have been dropping near £300 on a loco had I not received that inheritance. So to now know that I'm not going to be able to enjoy that model for a while kind of hurts a bit. Anyway, that's going to be it for this video, guys. Apologies if it's seen as a bit ranty. I just want to share my experience, and hopefully, you know, the model manufacturers can up their game. You know, the QR or QC on these things, it's got to improve. I mean, KR models, the Bobo Hansel is probably one of the better models to come out this year, but their quality control is so poor from model to model that many people are not going to touch it, and they're going to suffer as a result. I mean, the price tag doesn't help. I will put that out there. I mean, for a sound fit one, it costs more than this, and I'm not sure it's a better model in any way, shape or form. Hellion, Class 07 in double O gauge. One of the best shunters I have. Hellion PWM, one of the most garbage shunters I have. I mean, you know, from model to model. If model manufacturers want to justify their pricing, they have to be on point. They can't have all these issues and expect us to keep shelling out the money. That's what will kill this hobby. It's not that all the old guys are dying off and there's no one to replace them. It's not the attitudes between old and young that they're not merging in clubs. It's not the fact that people just don't want to join model clubs. They do. It's a very social thing. It's just, you know, it's online now for the majority. The hobby is not dying, but the manufacturers are not helping. They're making the situation harder than it needs to be. As I say, that's enough of me ranting. This video's gone on long enough. If you have made it this far, thank you ever so much for watching. If you own any of these models, let me know your experiences, because I would love to hear some positive stories right now. With that said, catch you in the next one. Bye for now.